A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on frequency. Welcome to the DATV Net. It's going to be a rather short net today, seeing that we don't have many people on at the moment. I've just seen Phil come up. But it is Father's Day, so we wish to welcome everyone and greet all the fathers, and may it be a very happy Father's Day, of course. It's Father's Day in South Africa as well, so I'm sure many of the people are out to lunch. I hope so. I also got a quick message from Paul, and he sent me the following, if I can just get it on there. Let's see, then you can see what he's up to. Let me bring that up. And that's Paul, Papa Echo 1 Alpha Victor Papa. He says we must have a good net, and that's his weather right now. So he's got a lot more courage than I have to be out in that kind of weather in a caravan. Wet as heck. You'll have a good ground plane for HF for sure. That's one thing. But he does come and wave to us in a minute. I don't have any audio on. I've cut the audio out there, but there he is. He was supposed to go and cook, and now he's wondering, should he or shouldn't he? Thanks for that, Paul. We certainly feel for you on that, old friend. That is for sure. Anyway, I also, as usual, do want to acknowledge the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to have an amateur satellite on their satellite. I also wish to acknowledge DL or AMSAT DL, AMSAT UK, and of course the BATC, organizations that have made this possible for amateurs to come onto this satellite, not only on narrowband, which is like SSB, CW, etc., but also on digital amateur television. Now, today we have on the net, let's just see if I can bring that up, not many people. And let's get the list. It's G8KOE. Martin's going to tell us more about the PA info, and thankfully we got nice drawings, which helped, I believe, from Paul, and they've been most helpful. And it's nice to have a team like that. Leon can tell us a bit more about his adventures with the rocketry. I know he will not show us photos just yet, but he is waiting for the profs to get back to Natal, I think, end of next week or so. And then they will tell him what he's allowed to show us and what not. There's quite a little bit of info that they don't want easily transmitted just yet. Incidentally, I had a school friend of mine, so first time in almost 50 years. It's 50 years to the year, but not quite 50 years to the date, that we last saw each other, and that's Professor Garth Hobson. He is the Dean of the Faculty Aeronautical and Astrophysics at Penn University. And in fact, part of his portfolio is to teach pilots that become astronauts. So he's part of the NASA team. In fact, I have a lecture where he stood at the NASA podium telling their engineers about modification to the pump he designed for the space shuttle some years back already. And in fact, we were discussing that, and he was telling me what was going on. The pump was supposed to last, but it didn't. And so he had to go and redesign it, and he found out why. It was very interesting. And Garth got a nice video somewhere, I'll try and dig it out, of him doing tests on a jet engine that he totally designed and built from scratch, including the blades and the angles, and using computational fluid dynamic mathematics. That's what my son did as well. Designed this thing. Anyway, sorry, there's somebody triggering the repeater here. So there we are, but that's our list, and then we'll look forward to Phil again. So anyway, Garth, I just thought that he would have been an interesting guy to have chatted to with your guys down in Natal. He can give them so much info. He's actually retired, but they've called him back. He was the chairman of the board, and he has now retired from that. So he's now just basically lecturing as a prof. But it was great fun to have him. And I got Leslie to come and meet him, of course. I always wanted Quentin to meet Garth, but it never happened. But so Leslie came, and Leslie was telling him about his RCs and his Uncle Leon and all. So there we go. Hello to Regina, DG5 Fox Mike, and also to Ashley, GE8P DPH stroke A. Hello, Ashley. And to Brian, G6HFS. And in France now, saying hi to all. And there is, what is he now? EA6 stroke G6 November India Whiskey. That's Francis saying hi. Hello, Francis, with our dear friend Brian. So that's going to be a party, I'm sure. And we wish you all a happy Father's Day as well. Right, to you, Martin. Tell us more about that PA. It sounds good. G8KOE to please take it from ZA6YI.
Right, I don't know whether I was a bit slow, whether anyway, we got there. As you can see, it was Father's Day here. That was my card. Let's go over to me, and PA wise, let's come add my audio coming back into my earpiece. But anyway, let's go to the screen. That's the PA that we'll be talking about, or all tied up with Paul, who is on holiday, who did an excellent job of circuit diagram, which caused me to look at my PA. That one, as you can see, I bypassed the input chip totally, and I'm feeding RF in because the input side of things had failed. And I thought, oh well, this is my spare PA. I thought we'd investigate it. So that's really where we're going. Right, let's get rid of that for the moment. It says, and bring up this one. I think that'll do. I think I already had it actually. Let's get rid of that and go there. There, that's where. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. I have to go back to where we were. I had it all prepared, but right, let's move down and go to the one, and we'll have to make it bigger. The problem I had is that on 8 and 9, I had sort of 13.8 volts. On a working one, it's sort of 2 point something, which we'll leave it at that at the moment. So if we just think it's 8 and 9, which controls everything really, and it's tied up with on the back of the chip there is an earth plane as such, which is all soldered down. So if we go over to Paul's circuit diagram, which is that one, which was excellently drawn, and you can see where the two come in to the chip, and you've got this V reference, which from the T431 down the bottom here. So you end up with 2 point some odd coming out of pin 8, and going into the chip there's 13.8. And couldn't understand exactly where it was coming from, measuring around this LG LP2 G85 down the bottom of this regulating chip. On the input and output, there was 13.8 volts. Then looking at the diagram, there's 28 volts coming in here. And I'm not quite sure what this little coil arrangement is, but investigating a lot more things. There's lots of links and 0 ohm resistors and such like. There's a lot on there that isn't actually used. And if we go to, I think it's the latest modified circuit diagram. Well, whether this is correct or not is well, this is where Phil and I ended up with. So the 28 volts comes in and goes straight up and feeds basically the output stages and such like, and the driver, the 28 volts. Now there's 13.8 volts that also appears on this chip at the top here. Goes in 13.8 volts and 5 volts. Where the 13.8 comes from, I don't know, but the two are linked. And there's a direct link from that 13.8. It goes all the way up to this little point here with these resistors, the 2K2, the 12K, a 0 ohm resistor, which means that V106 is not in use at all. So that feeds to one of those pins. And on the other side goes to a 10K that feeds to the other side of the pins. So that's where the 13.8 volts come from. And the pin 8, which I thought was the reference, which sits at about 2 point some odd. When you actually look at it, it goes through a 15K before it gets there. So it isn't actually in use. It doesn't actually do anything. It's the 13.8 volts that comes up, and it relies on the chip is actually drawing some current, which drops the volts down. So having 13.8 on those two indicates, I think, that the driver chip is not performing as it should. When it first went, I could heat it up and tap it in one thing or another. So whether it's gone internally dodgy, but to sort of prove the point further, I got quite adventurous, and let's get this other picture. Heated up the board and took the chip out, because at one point I thought maybe the 13.8 volts was coming from the chip, but that proved that it wasn't. Having stuck it on a hot plate and that, it's gone a little bit brown in places, and we've removed other things to prove a point in the experimentation, but we're not going to put a chip back in there. I've decided I'm going to, because this is my spare PA, but I think if you ended up with 13.8 volts on the two pins on the bias sort of pin arrangements, then that chip is not drawing any current effectively. It's nothing to do with the other biasing side of things. So I hope that makes some sense. Phil, that's the 2 points there, which is quiescent current and temperature compensation side of things. So it's been a week of Phil and myself, me vandalising my board. I'm now putting it back together just to use it as a spare one. I think the PA side of things is going okay. I will test it later today, but we're still drawing the same current that we should do with the bias that we've done. But the latest one. So that is what we think. Let's go back to the screen. Leave it so. That's what I think is more correct than, but without Paul's initial diagram, I never got to this sort of stage. So V107 hasn't got a connection to it at all. There's actually a break in the track, so that's not used. V106 has got a 0 ohm resistor across it, so that's not in use, so you can forget all the other bits and pieces. And the reference one, the TL431, has that 15k, so that has no real effect either. And I took out this other N102. I don't think I was looking at my mouse. No, I should have had a bigger mouse, really. It's hardly seeable, isn't it? But N102, the LP2G 85 down the bottom here, I actually took it out and damaged it whilst getting it out. But that puts it in PTT mode, so I'll still get the bias on the outputs. But if anybody particularly wants that modified circuit diagram, they're more than welcome to it. Just email me and I'll reply with it stuck on an email. Not a problem. But without Phil's checking of his working one as well, a combination of both, that's what we came up with. So hopefully it might help somebody else. I'm not going to do any more to the ones. I've got a second PA that is the one that I'm using at the moment, that the driver stage is gone. And I thought if I started attempting to modify that one as well, or check that one anyway, I don't want to heat that up and cause problems in the future. Anyway, that's a long waffle. I hope everyone hasn't gone to sleep. Yeah, I'll send you a copy. You can stick it on Wiki there, Mike. Yeah, it's the first time I've actually tried a hot plate. Actually, first of all, wiggled the chip around, hoping that it wasn't making connection, and then it all cooled down. So I actually heated it up twice. Yeah, the information's there for anybody that it might help. But it's all started by Paul, who did all the initial donkey work. And anyway, on that note, I think around to some interesting things from Leon there. So I'll pop up a test card and Leon, B8KOE.
Okay, G8KOE in the group, ZS1 Mike saying good afternoon to everybody. There's nobody in the morning session and also nobody in the good evening session. I wonder where Ed is. Anyway, that was very interesting, Martin. I don't know. Okay, the PA that I use is the one that I built. That's totally different. I'm not sure the ones that we got from Saru, whether that's the same as what you're describing there. That's also a very high gain thing. That's my spare one, which I keep for my future mobile system that I want to build. But yes, very interesting. And just thinking of Paul drawing out that whole thing, tracing everything out. That's quite a job. I wonder that chip, what the specs of it is. It must have quite a bit of gain because it's two-stage, and I wonder what the output level is. Maybe that's a useful one if it's not expensive, but it looks rather expensive, I must say, and probably obsolete by now. But it could be a nice output stage for a small transmitter if it's got maybe a few watts of output. Anyway, okay, I'm back, as you can see. They wanted me to stay longer, but I said no. Too many things happening here on this side. So I came back. The university people are still on the range, I think, until the end of the month. So they're still busy with doing all sorts of tests and things. But I did take some video of the first firing of the engine, their new liquid fuel engine, and also of the igniter they used. It's quite an interesting igniter that they used to start this thing. But yes, I don't want to air any of the video material yet. Once I'm done, I'll speak to the professor and you know, get clearance from him what I can publicize and what not. Otherwise, other news, I was contacted by my friend in Bredasdorp who has this scrap place, and he showed me, he sent me a picture that he took of another lithium battery that he got in as scrap. And I thought it was, you know, these small round cells like they have in laptops, those 1685 or whatever they call those things. I said to him, yeah, no, well, those things, because he measured them and the voltages were like 2 point something and 1 point something and so on. So I said to him, no, that thing, you can chuck it away or compress it or whatever. Because once those things have gone very low, they don't easily recover. It's not like lead acids or NiCads or something. But anyway, then I thought later that night, the controller board, all the batteries have a nice little controller for balancing the cells and protecting them against complete discharge and overcharging. So I just sent him a message, you know, don't destroy it. Maybe I can use some other bits inside it. So the next morning he said to me, no, come and get it. It's not a problem. He didn't squash it. But when I got there, I was quite amazed. It was a big battery with weird cells. They are about a foot long. On the picture it looked like this, but the cells are at least 12 inches long and maybe 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches in diameter. Like huge electrolytic capacitors, round aluminium cased things with a big nut on either side, positive and a negative. And there's 8 of them. It's a 24-volt battery with a beautiful battery management board inside, you know, all in aluminium. So he said, no, take it, go and play with it. Anyway, I took it home and I brought it here. And I started gently charging it on my bench supply, nursing it to life. And yeah, it wasn't long and it was up to 24 volts. I said, okay, no, I'll have to increase the current a bit. And I checked it, the balancing works. All the cells are now at exactly the same voltage. And I charged it up to, I made some notes here, 27 volts, yeah, 27.1 volts. And I stopped there. I'm not going to push it too hard yet. Let's try discharging it and see if it's got any capacity. And it took me 27 hours to get it down to the voltage which they say is 30% charge left. So I said, okay, this thing is definitely not dead. So this morning I put it back on charge, and now, no, it was last night. Yeah, last night I put it back on charge. I'm using a 16.5 amp switch mode power supply, which I've set to 29.2 volts, which they say is the absolute full voltage for this thing. You charge it up to there and then you switch off the charger. Lithium ions don't like to be floated. You charge them, and you can charge them quite hard. You can put a lot of current in these things. You can charge it with 50 amps if you've got it. So I charged it, and this morning I went and I checked. Yeah, so it switched itself off. So it's definitely now full. So I put it back on a load, and with my little SD card recorder connected to it, my Arduino voltage recorder, so that I can check the discharge. But it's looking very promising. It's definitely not dead. It's a 24 volt 80 amp hour battery. So yesterday I phoned him again and I said, do you still have the case for the thing? Because I've only got the front panel, which is beautiful white steel with the terminals and a nice circuit breaker, 65 amp circuit breaker. But I didn't get the case from him. So I said to him, do you still have the case? Because this thing is coming alive and I'd like to assemble it again. He said, yeah, he's still got the case. He's not squashed it yet. He just doesn't have the screws. I mean, they just chuck them away when they disassemble things. So I said, no, screws are not a problem. So when I go down there, I'll get the case as well and reassemble the thing, because it's very useful. Because it's not too heavy. It's quite easy to carry. It's much lighter than a conventional car battery, and it's double the wattage. It's 24 volts, so they actually say 25 volt 80 amp hours. So it's very nice for portable ham stations and things like that. So yeah, I'm very excited about this battery. So yes, it'll probably take 2 days or so to discharge. Now I'm discharging it with two 20 watt 12 volt these integral reflector lamps. So there's 20 watt 12 volt ones. So I've got them in series. So they draw about 1.6 amps. So it'll take to discharge 80 amp hours. It's going to take more than 40 hours. So yeah, then I'll see. I won't discharge it completely. I'll take it down to 30% again. That's the one nice thing about lithium ion batteries. There's a chart, and so many volts per cell equals such a percentage of charge. It's not like with other batteries that you're going to have lots of volts, but there's bugger all capacity. It gradually goes down. It's got the first minute or so it drops quite a bit. It drops by about 0.2, 0.3 volts, and then it's got a plateau which is very long, and only right at the end it goes down. So you want to keep it in that flat area. They reckon don't charge it higher than 90% and don't bring it down below 20%. Then it's got a guaranteed 8,000 cycles, which is 21 years. So yeah, I'm aiming for that. But yes, I've got the big lithium ions. I've got lots of them now. I brought the last pack of that as well, which was still standing in my garage in Bredasdorp. But now it's also here. And after all the months it's been standing there, all the cells are still exactly at 3.33 volts per cell. So it's perfectly balanced, and there's no local leakage. They just sit there. Anyway, that's a 48 volt pack. Okay, that's enough from me and my batteries and things like that. So Phil, over to you. M0 PIT for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Have I got any sound? Should have sound. Yeah, I have sound. Thanks, Leon. Yeah, absolutely fascinating. Gosh, I wish I had a friendly scrap dealer. Yeah, I reckon I'd be down there most days searching through all the stuff that they get. That's to say, the nearest one here to me here is a few miles away, and they're not really friendly. Mind you, we do have a fabrication, a metal fabrication company, and they are very friendly. So if I ever want any sheet metal, that's the place, or box section or whatever, that's the place to go, and they are really, really friendly and do some really good deals. But scrap dealer, I wish, but I don't have. But that battery, was it 24 volts?
80 amp hour. Gosh, yeah, could make use of that. I have been dreaming about going portable. Yeah, I don't really have the kit as such. Certainly don't have a vehicle. But yeah, I have been thinking about it. Yeah, battery like that might actually push me to do something. But anyhow, yeah, I've got to keep an eye on my power because I haven't had time to set anything up. So my power's gonna, because it's all, oh, it's quite warm. I need to put my fan on, my extra fan. Gosh, that's heated up quick. It must be nice and sunny outside, or warm at least. Anyhow, yeah, I've been working with Martin on this palette amp. I did send an updated circuit diagram to you, Martin, last night. My phone did go into airplane mode. So maybe you didn't get it, but there is a slight alteration to where that 13.8 volt goes. It's actually quite a big difference, but it's on the diagram it's quite slight. I only have it on my phone, and I didn't want to attempt to at the last moment to try and push it over onto my PC that runs OBS. I can try to do that when I hand over to Mike, and then maybe put it up on the screen the next time. But if you didn't get that email, Martin, with the updated version, let me know and I will send it again. But as for me, what have I been doing all week? Well, you know what, I've been working on this Second World War voice masking device that was designed by Alan Turing. I've spent 2 days on it this week, trying to get the damn thing to work, or trying to understand how it's supposed to work. But anyhow, we've had some success. Now, next week, the week after, it's the week after, there is a presentation in a public venue. Now, if I can get to it, I can take some photographs of it, etc., etc. But at the moment, that is questionable, because from Wednesday of next week, the gas supply into my house is going to be replaced, and that means some major digging work that's going to have to take place, and potentially I'm going to need to be here just to make sure that they don't dig in the wrong place or whatever. And I might know, well, I will know a bit more as to if I'll be able to make that presentation, exhibition type thing, later on next week. If I do go, as I said, I can take some photographs, but alas to say, where I am, I can't do that. But yeah, I do have some circuit diagrams of it, so I probably could share that with you. I'll have to go hunting for them, but I don't have them on my TX PC, my OBS PC. It's actually on a laptop, so it's not even here with me now. But yeah, I can certainly share that. It'd be nice to have some photographs so you can actually see it, and also the block diagram, because the concept behind it is quite clever, but it never went into production. anyhow, more on that maybe in a couple of weeks' time. I don't really have much else to talk about because that's really what I've been doing. I've been playing around with the PA and doing some work on this Alan Turing thing. But I must say that the work that must have gone in by Paul to draw that circuit diagram out, yeah, I certainly couldn't do it. Yeah, there's the odd error in it, but blimey, I wouldn't have got anywhere near that. So I take my hat off to Paul to be able to do that. But anyhow, I think that's enough of me. So I think if Mike is all raring to go, fingers crossed, I'm going to hand over to Mike, I think. So this is M0PIT, handing over to G0MJW, Mike. So I am going to put up test card.
Right, so with the extended test card there, seems Windows has done an update whilst I've been away and moved the microphone. I've got it back now, probably with no lip sync whatsoever. I'm sure it won't make a difference, but right, anyway, never mind. That's enough of that. I've been away for the past few weeks, as one or two of you may have noticed, so I've not been available. Mostly travelling to do with work. Just got back on Friday from Bengaluru, which was a nice place to visit, one I had not visited before, so that was good. Let me just turn up the volume a bit because I think it's a bit on the low side. But consequently I've not done anything, so there's nothing to really show. So what I'll do is I'll show some things that I have done but were started or initiated at least before I went away. What I'm looking for is that's the bench camera. So that is out of this PA we've been working on. That's a three-way combiner, and it's an interesting thing. Don't ask me how it works, but it does. That sits in there, and well, like so, with some spaces. Anyway, what it does do is work, but what it doesn't do is work on 435 megahertz, which is the problem. So that's been taken out of the amplifier altogether. And if I go to the other camera, which hopefully is going to work, this one here, there is said amplifier in a test setup. Hopefully the audio will carry, but that is the only thing I've really done, which is make a filter. The filter is designed to remove the harmonics, which are high on this amplifier. The other thing I've done though is you can see, or rather you can't see because it's inside, that the combiner isn't there. But having tested with that filter, I tried to make another one using isolation milling, but PTFE board is not very good for isolation milling. This is some scrap board I acquired a while back. We'll see if it works. Very simple design, W6PQLs, I haven't got the time to wait to order from Jim's site, but it's just the same sort of layout. And we'll see if it works. The test one was made by cutting out strips from the same board and sticking it on top of a bit of copper, and apart from them not being flat and me not having a proper heat thing to solder them, that works okay. It's got a fairly good filter characteristic. The return loss isn't so good. It's only about 15 dB, which is not good. But the performance is good. It doesn't attenuate the fundamental, and it knocks back the harmonic substantially. So now when I connect a bird through line, it reads the right amount. Interestingly, the Telewave reads the right amount even with a minus 20 dB harmonic. The bird goes all over the place and reads 50%, 100% high. So never trust a bird through line unless you've got a pure signal. But everybody knows that. Leon's saying, yes, I know. Right, anyway. So that's that. But I have to work out how to actually mill this stuff properly in future. I guess you need very, very shallow cuts and high speed, maybe. It produced a lot of plastic or PTFE coming out. I guess you just can't mill PTFE, basically. I think that's the rule. But you've got to use PTFE PCB because of the losses. Anyway, we'll see if it works. The other thing I did with that amplifier, the three-way combiner doesn't work. So I've taken so there are 6 modules in there, which are combined in pairs. So I've taken the combiner from the top pair, I've taken the amplifier bits out, turned it round, and used it to combine the bottom 2 amplifiers, and then taken the output of that. And it seems to survive producing 500 watts. I got to take it out again because I overdrove the load in it. It's got a load, it's a branch hybrid combiner, and it has a 50 ohm load in it, 300 watt rated. Well, if you get the phase of the combination 180 degrees out, i.e. you wire them front and back the wrong way around, instead of all the power coming out of the end socket, it goes into the resistor. And I was not getting any power out and wondering, and then it started to smell, so all the power was going in there. But I think it'll be okay. I've got plenty of those resistors now. So success with that. The other thing that's interesting is it's designed for 50 volts, but if I run it off 42, which it will do, it gives the same power but with a lot less heat. And I guess that's the way LDMOS amplifiers work anyway. They're really designed to, they're more like switches, aren't they? And they work on their particular voltage setting and impedance output. Right, so that's a lot of technically boring stuff. Not much else to report really, apart from it was very nice in India. I've never been there before. I don't know if Saro is on or any of the other Indian colleagues, but they're a very hospitable country. Not too hot either, because we were in the right part of it, but I gather they've been having 40-50 degrees centigrade in some parts, which I can't imagine, but it was about 30 when I was there, so quite pleasant for us Europeans, but no more. I got home and it was absolutely freezing. UK is not the place to be if you want to enjoy the summer. Right, with that then, that's enough. Let's pass it on to 2E0EHH. Nigel, nice to see you again, Nigel. G0MJW. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Mike. No, Mike. Sorry, just forgot your name. No. Mute that. And cut to a picture. Flip.
I'll go straight on to the I've got a new camera and I'm going to try it in a minute, hopefully. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I've not been on for a while because it takes a long time for me to set things up. But I listened to a DATV the other week, and my Colin, KLB, I think, got a new camera, a Razor. What's it? I'll show you the box. So, the first time I've used it transmitting wise, so it's a Razor QO Pro. It's a USB, but it's a USB-C type connector. But it seems to be pretty good. It's got a tilt pan, can do all sorts, but I like to keep it basic because it simple works for me. Good day to Gary, Martin, Leon and Phil, Mike obviously. I've not got a lot to say, and I'm going to make this my only over because I've got to nip out to help my brother-in-law set his telly up. He's called, so I've got to nip out in a minute. But just comments on the state of the camera, if it's all right. I've not sorted my lip sync out. That's the least of my worries. I just want to get a stable transmitter, and I think I've got that now. And the camera's alright, so I might have to move on to lip sync, but I'll need help with that because I can't seem to clear it, get it get it right. But so I just want to get a stable video call and sound. Once that's settled for a few months, and I might try tackle the lip sync because you can do. I'm using OBS and DATV Easy. So I don't know if you want. So there's two places where you can alter it. Either alter it at the OBS or alter it at the DATV Easy. So there you go. Anyway, that's enough for me. I'll comments on the camera for me, please, and just say that it's all right. Well, it's fine. It looks working to me. So it's so good looking at me. Well, have I locked up? Oh, I don't know. Locked up. Anyway, I'll put the test card back up and hand it back to net control. ZS6YI Gary, and thanks for doing the net as yours will, mate. So I'll put the test card up and then I'll hand it over to Gary. I'll wait for the test card to appear. Test cards appear. Yep, test card appeared. Okay, Gary.
Right, ZD6YI returning. Hello, Mike. Haven't seen you for a while. You look good and well after all the travels. And certainly hope you enjoyed it. That's a nice combiner that you're building there. Looks very good. Very professionally done as usual. It looks like your milling machine's working overtime, so that's great. Yeah, we haven't done much with ham radio. I've been too busy at the salt mine. But I have got something lined up, so once I've done that, I will of course show everybody. And this time we'll make better videos of it so that one can see how it's done. Anyway, it's a rather short net today. I'm going to call this the final, if you don't mind. And we'll see each other next week, all being equal. But I'm going to just throw it in the air. Bidding everyone on frequency. There's a number of guys on YouTube watching. Let me just get to the YouTube channel quickly while I'm here. Hello to Ishmael, and hello to Johan Leeman, ZD6JPL. Johan's an old friend of mine. He works at the CSIR, and he's long ago he's had a transmitter, he's had an amplifier, and he's had his receivers. He's now receiving us live on his DATV Red and VLC, but he still doesn't come on. Hello to Ed, Papa Yankee 2 Radio Mike. He's out of the shack today. So Ed, hi to you watching on YouTube. And who else? Hello to Ishmael, DL2IE. Nice to see you guys on. Yeah, it's been a short net, but you know what? It's been a very interesting net, I must say. So those that haven't watched, we've got 34 guys watching. And I see a lot of people do watch later on. And we can get quite a few hundred people watching what they might have missed on the Sunday. So it's been worthwhile, and it's been a very interesting one, albeit very short. So I will sign out and then let the net continue. And right at the end, maybe, if you don't mind, Martin, you can close it for us officially. You can hear my voice ain't so good. I went in for a little stupid procedure on Wednesday, and then the next day I had my friend Professor Garth Hobson from Pell University, or in Monterey anyway. He came to visit me. He works with NASA. He's an astrophysicist and so on. I thought of you, Mike. It would have been nice to tie you two guys up together. Garth has been in the industry for a long time and written many papers. A very interesting chap. Anyway, I showed him DATV. He came up in the shack here and he was very, very impressed. Hello, Benno, Papa Alpha 3 from Bravo X-ray. He said he is somewhere. He just sent me a WhatsApp. Let's just see what Benno's got to say. I'm also not on air today, we noticed. Yeah, there we go. But he's been watching. Yeah, Mike, a very nice match there. So all good. All good. Anyway, I brought Garth in and showed him the ATV, and he was very impressed. I've given him a link, so he'll also be from time to time coming up and watching what we have to do. Very interesting fellow, broad knowledge base. We grew up together, lived in the same street down the road, and we went to the same school. And then he went to Wits University, and I went to university, which was Tikkies. We always tease. We had a leg pull about that again. Anyway, so he then left. He worked at the CSIR for a while, developing some jet engine. And then because of that, he got an opportunity to go to America. And that's where he is to this day. So he's had a very, very interesting career, I must say. I just want to see, it's Penn University, that's it. Maybe you know it, Mike. Garth Hobson, you can go and watch him on internet or whatever. I just know why am I on that page? Ah, goodness. I don't want to be on chats, I want to be on Facebook because that's where I've got his info. Let's try again. Facebook. But yeah, no, man. They change these bloody things so often, you don't know where you are. I don't know why they have to. When a thing works, leave well alone, you know. Yeah, he's a professor at Naval Postgraduate School. He studied aerospace engineering at Penn State University. And I know he's in Monterey at the moment. He's been there for many years. And he works with the guys, he trains astronauts, so amongst other things. So, and develops special pumps, hydraulic pumps, and goodness knows what. Interesting fellow. So it'll be nice to have him on YouTube from time to time. And hello from the Algarve, Charlie Tango 7 Alpha Radio Delta. And hello to Peter. And of course, that's Henry. You got your... Now you must come on the air, Henry. This is no good. Henry Stephen. He's now Charlie Tango 7 ARD. Hello, Henry. Hi to all. I hope you're having fun. Now, the next bit is please get that transmitter going. You've got everything, and it'll be nice to have you back on again. And, of course, hello to Peter, DK3 Zulu Fox. Right, with that, I'm going to pass it to you, Martin, and it'll run down the net who's on. And then maybe just, Nigel, if you pass it back to Martin, he can close the station. This is G8 King of England from ZA6YI, bidding everyone a happy week. See you guys next weekend. 7-3, guys.
Yeah, thanks there, Gary. Yeah, no problem. Make sure we got some audio. Yep, there's the audio coming through. And you there, Phil. Yeah, I missed the some reason your text, but I had a look on and found it, I think. So let's go to the screen. Not a very pretty mod, but I presume that was the 28 volts. I think that is what you're talking about. It needs to be connected that way. I think my eyes have started to go blind with the diagram, and it's doing too much cooking of boards, overcooking them. Yeah, you're probably right there, Mike. I think the hot plate, once I got it up to temperature, kept going a bit more than maybe I should have set the hot plate up and first and to a temperature and then put the ball on top. I don't know. The first time I've done it, but just got to the stage when the solder was melting where the driver chip was. But we will learn if we ever have to do it again. Yeah, 7-3's there, Mike. Yeah, one of the camera. I wonder what the problems are with the camera. The only thing that I've seen is that people tend to talk about the autofocus getting a bit confused and turn it off. But your pictures there, Nigel, look good on the new camera. Right, that's enough of that circuit diagram, which I think is more correct than it was. But yeah, thanks again to Paul for the initial one, and to Phil for getting the brain cell to look at things in a different way. It'd be easy to do on another one to fault find, as it always is. I made it hard work. Started totally looking, as I said, to the bias faults instead of thinking about that they didn't come from pin 8 on the chip, but they sat there all the time. Anyway, I've not got any more to add. So good on the batteries, by the way. I didn't comment on that. Always worries me with batteries and high current and things and that. I always think things can go wrong, but need to be treated with a bit of care. Anyway, I'll say 7-3's all for the moment. Perhaps see you all at the end, but let's pass it over to their Leon for any more comments from G8KOE with Test Garden Gone.
Okay, seems like my amplifier is cold. Takes a while to warm up. Okay, yeah, Gary, you shouldn't go. You must still tell us what were you doing on 10 gigs that you wanted to know about the power meter. You haven't explained that one yet. Okay, Martin. See, you've been out and about. Yeah, me too, but not as far as you. Phil, yes, that'll be interesting if you can get us some info on that voice scrambler thing. You have mentioned it before, so yes. Nigel, your picture is perfect. It's a beautiful picture you have now. It's sharp, it's lively, it's that camera is really working well. Your audio is good, it's just the lip sync. And everything went smooth on your side. There was no hiccups with your whole transmission. Everything was fine. So, okay. Nothing else from this side. Mike, why are you combining 3 streams on 70 sims? Do you want to build a kilowatt or something? What are you up to? Do you do moon bounce or something? Gee whiz. Yeah, I'm not doing much on 70 sims really. There's nobody to talk to unless I talk to the moon. Right. Okay, Phil, over to you. M0PIT, if you are there, as it is 1mm in the group, saying cheerio, 73s.
Right, there we go. I'm sure I've got audio because I can hear all the fans in the background. Yeah, I've got audio. Yeah. Thanks, Leon. Yeah, I like that your last comment about 70 cents. Yeah, we're in the same boat actually, because I've got all the kit. But there isn't that many people around that I can talk to, so all that I'm left to is like you is the moon. Yeah, I haven't had my terrestrial kit out for quite some time. Mind you, that sounds a bit politically incorrect, doesn't it? But I won't go down that avenue. Yeah, I don't really have much more to add. Yes, Martin, that is correct. It's just the it's the 28 volt rail, just moving it away from whatever chip, whatever it was. But yes, it basically is correct. But it's quite interesting because where that 13.8 volts comes from in the first place, I have no idea. Yeah, absolutely no idea. I mean, I don't think Michael found it. I certainly haven't found it. It must be there. But, yeah, where it comes from, I have no idea. But hey-ho. Yeah, I don't really have much more to add other than, Nigel, yeah, that your video, brilliant. That camera's, yeah, it's really good. I'd be interested to know what make it is. You may have said it, but I was trying to upload the circuit diagram from my phone onto my OBS machine. I did succeed it, but it took my mind off of what was going on. So if you had already said what make the camera was, Nigel, forgive me, but I'm still very interested. So right, I think that's enough of me. I should be around next week, I think, and that's assuming that the new gas supplier hasn't blown me up and the property. We shall see, but but yeah, I should be around next week. So right then, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Nigel. So let me put up a test card. Oh, wrong one. There's a test card. So I'll put up that one. In actual fact, Martin always complains with that test card. I should put up this test card because it fills the screen. Anyhow, so it's over to you then, Nigel. This is M0PIT handing over to 2E0.
I thought it was Mike, that's why I left a longer gap, but I'll jump in. Yeah, thanks for that, all your comments on the camera. Let's cut across. Yeah, it's better. You see what? Yeah. Thanks for all your comments about the camera. Yeah, it seems a good one. Still got issues with lighting, I suppose, but my camera's facing a door, so if I close or face that, if I close the door, it's probably got a filter glass panel, but it diffuses the light a little bit. Yeah, it's a Razer QO Pro. Phil, I'll put it on the chat anyway. Yeah, I ain't got much more to add, but yeah, if anybody wants to send me an email, you know my email. It's we get it on GSBRCB anyway, but you can get me on reeve124@gmail.com. That's reeve124@gmail.com. You can be talk me idiot guide, one step-by-step idiot guide for me to how to sort lip sync out. So that's a last thing to do. But yeah, as I got more to say, a short night. It was a short night last week. I was watching, but I couldn't get on. But anyway, it's summer into it and things. People have got things to do, etc. But I'm going to hand it over to Mike. M0JW, because I thought he was before me, just in case Mike wants to come back. If not, Martin, King of England, if you want to take it as closing the net down as Gary suggests. But I'll leave a gap for Martin because it was Martin before me, but I said I don't know if Martin he's on one or two overs. But anyway, I'll put a test card up and cut straight over to a test card, so I know I can click. So I'll hand over to Mike MJW with a pause. If not, Martin, you can close the net or do whatever you like. That sounds flippant, I don't mean to, but you know what I mean. You control the net. Okay, so leave a pause for Martin. Michael, Mike, if he wants to come on. If not, Martin, you take it. Hope to catch you all next week. 2E0.
Yeah, I think Mike's gone. I've been joined by my friend here, who seems to like sleeping on my hand. Oh, as Ruby's going to go. That's it. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's go with that one. Get back to the main camera. Well, thank Gary for running the net, and thanks for the use of the satellite. Been another good net. It's a bit on the short side, but I think Father's Day has got something to do with it. But I should be on next week, so I look forward to that one and try and find something else to talk about. at PAs next week. And I blame Paul. It's all his fault for doing such a wonderful job with the circuit diagram to start with. Without that, I wouldn't have had a week of fun. But hopefully it'll help others what Phil and I have modified the diagram with. Anyway, on that note, I'll close the Worldwide Net. Thank everybody, and see you all next week. I'll put a test card and say 7 3's all.